Yeah, because it's getting pretty quickly. I think let's just. Just gonna wait for viewers to tune in. Why does it come up that way sometimes? I don't know. That's what I clicked, I thought. Oh, it actually is supposed to be a kind of a clock day. Monday's not bad. Sunday's kind of alright. Saturday I'm probably going to be going out and I have plans, and even though I might have stuff I want to talk about, I might not. Well, Saturday. But that's interesting. I don't know. The sky's some are already pretty bright and blue, so. So that was pretty good. Okay. Is one of these bigger than the other, or they just don't stack? Okay. Here. Nothing for too much at the moment. I don't know why this is taking so long to load, because what I loaded previously on this page is loading just fine. It's just this menu is not loading. Ray's joking. Can I help serve you? Well, good opportunity to say that sometimes but I try my best to make a difference. These could be educational moments. I'm here to uplift, support people, do music, be a positive, uh, be somebody to brighten other people's day, and hopefully then mine. So, but sometimes I have jokes flow out, and yeah, um, I'm gonna put this up here carefully, but. Okay. And of course, oh, hello, Girika. How are you? Nice. I'm just talking to our dog for a moment. You know, it doesn't say anybody's actually watching. Oh, now it does. Okay, yeah. Sometimes it's just on a delay, which is, and I notice that somewhat often, but not super duper often. Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. I think our dog's going to be asking. Speaking of asking, to go upstairs because I swear, must have been a live streamer, podcaster in another life. You know, because he likes to be kind of vocal when he just got back from his walk recently. He's got food. He's got water. He was looking at me like he wanted to start making noise. And I just gave him something to distract himself with. But anyway, we'll determine that in a moment. But yes, it's pretty early here. It's just a little bit. It's close to 8:30 in the morning. So, but yeah. So what I was just trying to do as well. So is this your first time watching? I will put it that way because there was somebody the other day who came into two of my videos and apparently had seen one or two of them before saying anything. I don't know why they chose to wait, but then I'm glad that they introduced themselves. And he introduced, I think it's a guy, introduced himself, and we've had a nice chat. Canada, yeah, I understood you. Yeah, and because you know it's an understandable question to ask. And how about you, by the way? Gitica sounds almost either Asian, African. I'm not sure. What does is Gitica a name? Or anyway, yeah. And so you know, so he did that, and that was lovely. Um, Okay. I said more than one, but all is fine. All is well. But yeah, it's interesting though how that kind of how I did notice that this time because yeah, that's one of the things I want to talk about. So basically, I'm just gonna put the title also in the comments. Um, I said Canada. Sorry, you maybe didn't hear me. Western Canada, kind of near Edmonton. Anyway, I'm just gonna put. Sorry, my eyes might be looking a little bit funny for a moment. I'm just gonna put the title of this in to the comment area so that people that are scrolling along will know. And Ginica, do you post much on YouTube as well? What kind of stuff? Oh, you're from Norway. Okay, well those aren't the ones I guessed, and I thought you said yes, so you must have been saying it about something else. Um, Norway? No way. Sorry, you probably hear that often, but I couldn't resist. Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure that's a cool place. That I don't want to talk too much about it in this one, but that is close to Sweden, correct? Or is my geography off? I'm pretty sure it's in the Netherlands, or it might be a completely other country. I'm not great at geography, and I'll say that right now. I'm sure I don't see that interesting shadow on the wall, but the lighting is the same as usual. I guess there's just enough light coming in the window. I don't know. Did I not pin this? I meant to. Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, so basically, now that I've got that in there, you live near Sweden. Okay, yeah, that came into the video the other day in a way that, with my lack of knowledge, I wouldn't have thought it to. I didn't like what one person was kind of bringing into things, so took care of that. And yeah, actually, the other person that I was referring to that was fine. Just a moment. Is from Sweden. So I know a couple people from there on YouTube. So of course the other day when he tuned in, I was thinking about but I really want to get to this one specific cool thing, and then whatever else. You just got here. You just got here. And if your time zone is similar, like he came back 2 or 3 hours later and it was 10 o'clock there, so it must, but okay. Well, I hope that you subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and I hope we can chat longer next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. I guess you've got something fun and interesting to go do, so well, hopefully it is. And yeah. I don't want to delay the other topic too much because it's really quite fascinating. And I mean, you know, someone might say, well, yeah, you're well, I didn't talk about it in your live stream, so I guess you would think so. I don't know. I talk about unfascinating stuff too sometimes, occasionally. But to the other person that's here, I welcome you to come into the chat as well, especially since our other viewer sounds like he has to go, but doesn't look like he's been able to pull himself away yet. And I can't blame him for that. And no, it's good. But, well, anyway. But, yeah, so the other day, there was nothing hugely significant. Well, there wasn't. There was nothing about the day that I received a particular gift that, okay, and the other person looks like you've left. So, you know what? I'll wait. Because, again, it's one of those things, and you know, it's something pretty specific. Like, I know the details. Sorry. I know. Like, I don't need the story. And, you know, truth be told, sorry I keep doing that, but truth be told, it might not be, well, I don't know. I think it's a great sign and symbol. I mean, the people that don't see, this is what's interesting, is I think that possibly not accepting this particular thing, and maybe some other things too, probably, and not believing could be two different things. Okay, the light just showed in. I don't know if that was it came back or if somebody else is here. I think that he, even though he wasn't here long, and he would have maybe stayed longer, I think he enjoyed being here. It looks like so. I think he would have meant to have liked if he didn't, but I think whoever did, because I was only throwing one person here at now, but I haven't been rolling that long either. Anyway, so it's a difference of accepting and believing something, perhaps, um, and maybe, and they kind of work hand in hand too. I would say, like sometimes you might not. I just want to make sure that somebody's here. I just want to make sure that first. The indicator is sometimes wrong. In other words, sometimes, well, yeah, I don't think it was into it, but it seems to be wonky sometimes. Sort of want to take off these socks that I'm wearing. Anyway, yeah, I think sometimes somebody doesn't believe something because they haven't heard or haven't heard the right thing to help them believe something. And some of us, like especially the example I kind of want to talk about right now, and it looks like the person left, but anyway, see, now that I'm kind of getting into telling it, I feel like I'd be interrupting myself just to wait till somebody else is here. I mean, the other day, almost right off the hop, it was quite active. I think there may have been a 45 minute quiet spot, but it otherwise was quite active in here. So, although I must say, I think the elves were helping out a bit more. They didn't get the impression they knew each other until they met. But yeah, it's yeah, so I'll wait. I want to conserve my energy until somebody's here. And I haven't been up that long either, awake. So, and perfect. So yeah, basically, okay, sorry, our dog looks like he wants to be a bit distracting. Like I say, if you haven't heard me say it yet, I really think he's been a live streamer in another life. Because it's like he perks up when I'm streaming, or on the phone sometimes. It's like he wants to be part of it. But he can't. So, well, I mean, he could, but it'd be distracting, and I appreciate everything. So, as far as to, like, might be recognizing that. So, but what I am going to do, I hate to do it, but he didn't seem that interested in this chew stick I gave him, so I know it's not far in, and I wish it was further, because that would probably look a bit better. I don't know, he might, but see, the thing is he going to be noisy, or is he just going to stand here for a few minutes, and then, and he certainly loves the cuddles, he certainly loves, pets and stuff like that, but sometimes he'll do this thing where you'll reach out and he'll back up. He almost didn't do it that time, actually, but he did. Anyway, it's like he wants you to know he's there. He's kind of watching to see what you're doing. He's lurking, but is he trolling? But anyway, but yeah, so basically, because I think the other day he wasn't all that noisy, and then he went to that chair. And so far he's not that noisy, but I have to go upstairs for something else, and I know we haven't been downstairs for that long, but so I think I'm going to take care of that really quickly. Do I want more coffee? I don't know. Do I? Yeah, this is dropping somewhat fast. I mean, as much as I want to have socializing, and a bit more than what there's been so far, would be nice. He's walking over there now, but anyway, as much as I do, I don't know. Yesterday was a very tiring day, very social day for me, but lovely, and some of that was on YouTube. Some of it wasn't, but basically, I was kind of just going to go until my phone needs to be plugged in, to be quite honest. But I also kind of started told myself, we'll see what's where things are at when it gets to that. But with this phone, I don't know. I mean, it may go off at like 40 something percent. I mean, I seem to remember once it did it in the 70s. But I know that doesn't make much sense, and maybe there was just a 7 in the number. Um, Part of the matter is, what is nice about it is that it will let me, or usually it has, let me plug in and then resume if I choose to. So I don't know if there might be a certain amount of time in which it would do that, and then it just kind of just posts it. But um, it does that too. Like sometimes I just come back on it, but yeah. So we'll see. At the And I think he has actually went and laid over there nicely, but I do feel like I need to go upstairs for a moment too. Mark. Well, and you know what? Even if the duration doesn't show to anybody else, because sometimes I think on some people's devices it might not. Under 5 minutes is under 5 minutes. I know some people can barely seem to do seconds when I'm on the screen, but that, isn't all that common. I appreciate you laying there. I really wish I kind of didn't have to go up there. Even if I went there, you'd get up. That's the thing. Kind of wish I didn't have to though, because yeah. Because I know you'll. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I feel mixed. Unless somebody's been rolling for a while, I might do that. Oh. Cord. You have to put the string back on, apparently. So that was good. No, I just took off my socks, but we'll see. Okay. Even though I'm back on the screen, I'm going to wait for at least somebody listening. And hopefully they might chat as well. And I don't know, yeah, I just put... But now it's going to be chillier because of that, so... And then I can wear these, maybe. That's not how I remember that. No, that's supposed to look like water. That's not worn off. Queen Elizabeth Day. And I think that's saying something. What am I got? Right. And I might send this one to her, but I don't know why. You see the child before we meet for the second time. Not that. You know, we've gotten along in 2 conversations so far that I've had with her and some texting, for the most part. Well, you know, I know who is cool with the and I know who isn't. Therefore, I know who is cool. Okay, so I do want to get into the topic, so hopefully somebody cool will tune in. Or at least somebody that's here to listen. You know, I'd settle for that too. And look at that! Perfect. So, this might end up being in some sort of creative project. I'm not sure. But the other day, the person that I live with brought home something from a donation center that could have easily been gotten by somebody else. This is that. See, well, there's that symbol again, and sometimes that means that what is actually put isn't what's actually there. But Girika, you came back. I'm glad I didn't have to wait very long. Welcome. Hopefully you're here for a little while. And we got somebody else here too. I think it was you that has already liked. And yeah, let me just put this up here. Now it doesn't show that anybody's here, but I'm not sure if that's accurate. I mean, you just came back. Unless you just came back just to say that, which is this. As in, when people say that, I believe it's said to mean, it's an interesting instrument. But 2 people playing created instrument, but those are edible. People need to eat, so I don't know if you mixed about. Anyway, but chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. When somebody says this, this, I believe it means like, this is awesome, or like this is cool. I think I have heard people say that too. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah, I might plug in. I'm kind of getting in the mode now. And, you know, I would like I say, to have some more conversation. I don't know what. I just got the pillows perfect. I just sat back down. I think the dog still is down here. I'm not entirely sure. And actually, I just want to check that quickly. But unfortunately, you know, he follows me. If I'm coming towards him, he'll get up and be like, okay, where do you want to take me? Into the kitchen to drop stuff? Are you telling me not to lay here? Are we going for an impromptu you know what? It's like none of the above, if only you understood. But, yeah, the thing is there. And, yeah. Okay, so let's just get this out. Let's just get this out. And then I started fully charged. I did, actually. But, and then, you know, if anybody's here that I'm enjoying talking with, hopefully they'll be able to tune in another hour, and I'll charge again and be more organized in that way. You know, and do this while it's charged, while it's still plugged in. I mean, if it shows up, and I guess it sounds great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But, so, anyway, as I was starting to say, and it kind of, I do and don't feel like, you know, I mean, hopefully people will tune in afterwards, and this might not be a full hour, but otherwise it would make more sense if somebody heard it from the top of the story, not just tuned in midway. But I mean, because I prefer live streaming over uploading, both with storage space in my device reasons, and because of the socializing and that, and the YouTube community, I basically, yeah, I mean, people are going to tune in as they tune in. I mean, I possibly could have had it told by now, even though there's nobody currently here that I am seeing. Yeah, sometimes I'll see the number. All I can do, especially, tomorrow we're coming into the weekend, so I'll have a third device I can look at, kind of, because I can borrow one of G's. But other than that, and because I thought that was just a rule. When I clicked to it, I thought that was saying view channel. Anywho, but yeah, so basically, I've got it kind of titled, alluding to this, and some other things that are largely a part of me, and that some of you already know that, and so I'd like to bring that in. I mean, like say it, there's Pete, Marianne, Ray, possibly I feel like there may have been one other, but anyway. But let's get on with it. Eh? I was just very quickly looking at the, and I don't believe I have that setting. I'm actually going to put something here just in case I do, though. Is that this, and I accidentally clicked from it? It may be, or maybe this is. Nope. For some reason, that's wonky, and I don't know why. Yeah, see, this is why I don't wear sweaters very much. I've got a fan on beside me. I haven't had the heat turned down a little bit in a little while. Normally, I mean, I'd rather be than that, and I was wearing this doing light kitchen work a little earlier, and fairly comfortably. But this time around, I'm in it, and I'm feeling, kind of warm, to be honest. But it's a special shirt to me, and I also have the heat. I didn't know if it would be good to turn it completely off because I didn't know if I'd get it back on. It's a bit of an old heating system, but we were having another difficulty, and I felt like a couple of them, I guess, felt like having it a little bit lower might be helpful. But anyway, I don't know how much longer this is going to I could comment that and see if it comes into this, but I don't know. I think I should probably put some things like what was the thing? I said it a moment ago, and I forget what it was. If I'm just putting a couple little notes in the comments. There was one that initially, I don't intentionally have must sub for certain amount of time before commenting on. I don't know, some of the ones the other day, I don't know if they would have waited if I did, so I don't think I do. But, yes, so again, if it wraps up abruptly, my device has went off, and I'll have to plug it in, and next time, that's weird, this is tied, and it just came off. Next time, I will roll and can keep it plugged in at the same time. I mean, I'd really rather do this when I know that there's a few people here, to be quite honest, so maybe I'll just keep rolling with the idea of, I've given a little bit of a preview, but the idea of being here to chat with anybody who would like to, for the most part, and maybe sing a song. I don't know. But that's kind of the intent for the next one, and often, to be honest. But I want to talk about this If not in this one, for sure in the next one. It's something I'm really struggling to kind of hold in. It's just absolutely amazing. Um, I'm just noticing that that word is moving out. But could it remind me of the word and I didn't like it? And what do they try to tell me? They try to say, well, if you don't like it, you know what it initially said. It doesn't have to be there. That's not going anywhere. I really like the texture of this, actually. They said, yeah, you're meant to rub it and not to lose hope. Wow. Okay, so let's talk about this, folks. Again, if this wraps abruptly, it's my device. I'm not rolling plugged in for a couple of reasons, but my next one I definitely will. And going forth, until I can find my extra charger or get another one, going forth, I'm going to make sure that that's what I do because, yeah. Like I say, I started at 100% 30 minutes ago. And so, or 90%, but, you know, and, yeah, it's just really, yeah, best. And I can plug in rug rolling, I just have, and a little bit easier than recently because I kind of made that little, I kind of fixed something up in a way where I can do both. Because as a lot of you know, the charger things in most phones, in fact maybe all of them, is at the bottom, right? But I have a way, so be thankful for that, right? I know I am. I know lots of other people will be too. But yeah, so basically, yeah, and it'll be just fine, easy enough to do that later. But for reasons already mentioned, for those that see this afterwards, I'm not going to do it now, but even though there's nobody currently watching at the moment, I feel extra drawn to just saying this now. And then when I do one later, I can just tell people, you know, it's the one that starts with sweet gifts. You know, there's a couple of things that stand out, especially in the title. It's also possibly not going to be an hour long. And looks like JP was trying to say something there. Just kidding. And JP, for any of these that JT said, is not to be confused with the other one. How much they have in common? A little, that I know of, other than similar sounding names, but other than that, I'm not sure. But talking about things kind of like that, so got this from a donation center the other day. I didn't. Somebody I live with did. And right now I'm the only one home. If this ends abruptly, for the person that just tuned in, okay, you must not have cared. Or at least it doesn't look like you're still here. But anyway, I have it there too. And anyway, it's like, do it. Do it anyway. It may say 33 now, but it did say 32 as far as duration. Not that the 32 people here and none of them are here now, you know, or anything like that. And speaking about numbers for a moment, one of my videos, and this might not sound like a lot to some people, but I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And they all came in under 2 hours, randomly. And something I haven't seen for a while, even though it may indicate that there have been no likes, there was 12. You know, like for 3 or 4 that I was familiar with. And some of the people in that chat were saying that they were seeing different numbers of ones and that they've noticed issues with that feature lately. It's kind of a main feature, so, but I just want people to know that, you know, because, yeah, as I often say, sometimes people are looking at how many likes does this have, how many, I mean, I don't really, you got to start with views before you get the other stuff, right? But, you know, to me, not to sound mean to people that just view, but to me, it's much more of a great experience. I guess that's what it is. When I'm seeing those likes show up, when people are chatting, and But if people want to go on how many views it's got, but then you can't, and even if the number's slightly wrong, I said it's at least 200 with that one, and one in particular that I'm thinking of from the other day, and so 12 is not, but I'm not the only, there are many, 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 many channels, and it's fine. Well, it would be nice if it was, in some cases, but many, many channels that, that experience that, many that don't, but but point of the matter is I'm thankful to all those people, and yeah, I will still maintain to say, no matter what the numbers say, sometimes, like I say, there's glitches and they're not showing accurately. Usually they're not showing as many, and I know people might say, oh, well, you're just trying to you're just trying to make it sound better than it is. But no, it is true, and like I say, the other day was a great example of that. But really, I think that, I really think it's quite obvious, to be honest, but I think that, at least this was what I thought live too, that people should decide themselves. I know what that name looks like, but it's also neat. People should decide themselves whether something seems interesting to watch and all that stuff. Oh, just missed that. He looks a lot like Levo. But it's trying to get all those here, which is good because I'm going to be plugging this in shortly. But I don't know. You can't please everybody. Part of me really wants to wait to know that there's somebody here hearing it. I really do. And I don't have to anymore. But I'm going to take off this sweater. Just this sweater, because I don't wear a lot of sweaters. That was hot here for you. And yes, I knew I'd get warm pretty quick. Anyway, so, recapping. Somebody got this for me from a donation center that I live with. We had an obituary card from a loved one that passed away that was more someone I knew. He met her a couple times, came with me to the funeral, and it has been sitting, like those little things that they hand out with the picture on the front and a little poem or whatever, and all that stuff, right? And it was sitting on a piece of furniture in our foyer. He says for 2 months, I think for longer. And if this ends abruptly, the device powered off. It's been a bit wonky lately, but I'll be back. But hopefully I get this all out. I appreciate you being here. I truly do. I'm going to come back to the comments, actually, just to see which tab is it? This one, I think? Anyway, I'll just come to it again, because that's just easier to do it that way, I think. Anyway, so from this donation center, brought something home, reached into his pocket the other day, and pulled this out. And it has a certain word at the front of it, and even within this video, that is transpired into an interesting kind of new meaning, I guess I would say. This might also end up being in a creative film project of some sort. I do invite you to see the 2 comments I put at the bottom as well, because like I say, I feel like those are important, and I'm not going to verbalize them, but they're there. Anyway, so feel free to subscribe also, and then you get notified next time I'm rolling, which will be later today. It's supposed to be kind of snowy and icky out, which I hadn't realized, but I don't have any particular plans. I did have one, but I think I'm going to push it back. Anyway, so reached in his pocket, pulled this out, and it's a piece. People that see this might recognize this if they have a connection to this person, although it might be a small number of people that did. And I know even if it was done by an adult, whether she had some sort of, she didn't look like from her picture that she had any sort of disability or whatever, but whatever. Anyway, it's quite nice. Like, I wish that people could feel this. It's just so smooth, and it's and then the wood with really nice rings, but basically, and I must try and take good care of it. When I saw those white spots, I thought that it was starting to like rub off or whatever, but no, I think that's supposed to be like water, look like water, essentially, because the front does too, actually. But anywho, so basically, and that other detail is somewhat significant. I mean, to him, he saw her beautiful image, and he said actually, that is kind of awkward, but they took it well, especially since he is. But you know, if you have a problem with that, then this isn't a channel for you to watch. But anyway, but I have heard him say that was attractive too. So I honestly think he's maybe kind of bi. But anyway, point of the matter is, and he also saw her picture and went up, you know, because I saw other people doing it at the funeral, so I did it too. And he just kind of came up with me and entered into the line, and there was one or two people in between us, and he could have just stepped aside and let somebody. Maybe he very quickly thought to himself, well, it looks like I want to be in the line. It might be a little rude to do that, so I vote. I don't know. And the person who passed away, and other people may or may not have thought anything of it. I mean, a lot of people went up for the food, but to the person that passed away, I'm pretty sure that, and actually confirming, yeah, that would have been fine. But it was lovely to kind of hear their thought for a moment, and for them to show that kindness, honestly, to the both of us. So she says, her angelic soul. So yeah, that is also something. White angelic energy. I don't mean like white person, although she was, but you know, like not of bad energy, of very, very good energy. And when I feel these kind of things, it's really lovely. Keyword is when. But anyway, and sometimes it's not even a lot of message as much as it is, like I say, object based. And so he recognized the name on the back. Now, and he says he's more into music than art, but he really likes both. I don't know if I would say that G has an eye for detail like that. I don't know if I would say that like I do, most of the time. Although, we were both laughing the other day because there was a name that we saw, which was probably made up, and a couple of things actually came up later, which I could have connected, which may have made me connect the dots, but at the time, I didn't. I said it two different ways and didn't try a third, and it's kind of like, but I realized afterwards. And I should have put it together too, but I'm still not entirely sure what to make of that person, what the person said, the little that they said. I felt bad when they said it was really hurt. Maybe disappointing them, they'd hope, but even, hello, woo, sorry for all those hellos. Hi, I'm feeling a lot better after school though. Well, I'm so glad that you're here because, you know, when you told me what you told me the other day, I've been worrying here and there, and so you was definitely someone I wanted to hear from. Whether you thought I might be worrying or not, always know that I'm thinking about you and wondering when I'm going to see you on the next podcast, and I'm glad that you're here. What was going on, out of curiosity? And, you know, I'd be very curious for your dad to know about this story, perhaps, too. I've already said some of it. I kind of did recap about 5 minutes ago. You're in the 40-minute mark. I would still love you to see, I think that one was the 5.5-hour one, rare, but happens sometimes, that I posted recently. You were in some of it. There was a message near the latter part that I really think I would like you to hear when you get a chance soon. It's kind of deep, and, you know, we learn when we go through scary health stuff that, you know, tomorrow isn't necessarily promised. I was curious, by the way, do you play basketball or just your brothers? Anyway, so part of the matter is, but he did have an eye for detail for this thing, and he saw the unique name on the back, on the sticker. It's not huge either, because the actual rings of the wood still show. Piece of fluff flying in front of the fan. Attached to it, it seemed like. Anyway, I was going to wonder if it may have been COVID, come to think of it. You know, I get an email last week saying that, you know, COVID alert, blah, 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 blah. But then we saw the doctor just the other day, and he wasn't in a mask, and usually I see him in a mask. I mean, in the past 3 or 4 years, he almost looks like me, but more burly. He's got dark hair, biggish beard, quite wild hair and bluest eyes, well, not the bluest eyes, but blue eyes for dark hair. It's kind of interesting. Anywho, and talks very fast, and that's coming from me. I can't imagine some of the seniors are just, he worked with the general public, but I guess, he's used to working in the field for a number of years, so okay. Been taking vitamins. That's funny because I've been starting to. I'm not sure whether when I eat well I should be taking them. Have you just started taking vitamins? Does anybody know? Because I've heard, though, like I say, even if you eat well, sometimes your body does not get what it needs. I also don't know if I can take those two together. There's a doctor guy that I come across on here sometimes, and I've seen him a few times. I've not watched a lot of his stuff, but I've seen him in results and stuff and that. And he kind of didn't talk like he knew what he was talking about in the one about vitamins, and that kind of turned me off a little bit. But I've heard some people, really say great things about them, and some people say don't mix certain ones and this and that. So I've got B12 and D3. Are those okay together? And actually, there's a thing of C's upstairs. Those are and then there's these weird carrots we got unintentionally delivered to us the other day, and I've got to eat them up and figure out what to do about that, which also could have been a gift from the angels. I've been taking vitamins since I was 8. I take elderberry and vitamin C. Yes, I don't know if you know about combinations, but those ones are kind of powdery. Anyway, back to this. I'm almost finished with the story. And then we could talk about the carrots and whatever else. And I'm only going until this drops, pretty much. For reasons, but this won't be the case with other videos. I'll just do it plugged in. But for reasons, I don't have this plugged in. And that's stories to repeat some other time, perhaps. But I will later today. So, but I can definitely finish this story. We've got 2 of you here. 1 of you is talking. Maybe the other person will join in. And then I'll come back in a couple hours or whatever, probably 2. And if I don't get these carrots talked about then, they're kind of unique. You're like, what's there to say about carrots? What isn't there, really? Just kidding. Anyway, so her kind of unique last name. I know I don't know where the tablet is, and I'm using this one. I could bring it up, but well, let me just take a quick look. Actually, I'll do it this way, and then I'll have the similar result. So this name that I'm about to, it's Turkish. I would not have guessed. Moon of the Heart. Beautiful. Well, now I'm kind of saying it, but beautiful moon. Also Old English. French habitational name for places like Lily, whatever the heck that means, or Filipino. So it really, well, she's not Filipino, I'll tell you that much. It really doesn't know the origin of this name, and neither do I, but whatever. It sounds a bit like a word. Anyway, point of the matter is, I think it's kind of unique. I've never heard it as somebody's last name before, and it's on the sticker. Further than that, finding out that her mother passed away at the end of November, the first name on this, although I believe her parents may have divorced, so her mother didn't have the same last name as her, or maybe it was a step-parent, I don't know. The point of the matter is, first name is her mother's name. And I don't hear that one all that often either, even with all my time spent online, and living all the years I've lived. I think, how many people have I known with this name? 2, maybe? Maybe only 1. I had a teacher with this name. One of my first teachers. Anyway, but she may have at one time had that full name. Either way, this is amazing. But, and she may have made this before then. And I said to G the other day, it's entirely possible that her family got rid of this because they have had a hard year. Grieving 2 loved ones, and perhaps more that I don't know about. And maybe they're like, we just have to get rid of some stuff. We can't, it's just too hard, This, it's nice and all, but We don't need to. It could get broken if we hold on to it, whatever. And maybe they thought, I don't know, whoever donated it to the place may have thought, or maybe got nudged, because I do feel like my friend kind of said, that that like I found out about her mother's passing. Aside from her friends, a few family friends and family, not that many people know, and not just because of what the thing indicates. That was on the holiday. There could have been other posts too. Not that many, and I do and don't feel like she's surprised that, like, but basically it's like, I know how much my family mean. She knows how much her family means to me. That's really what it is, and she knew that I would see something in this. How could you not, like I say? And she knows I'm going to cherish it always, I'm sure. And so it is, even though it was an ornament just past Christmas, I feel like it's a gift from her and her mother. I don't know which one more. I don't think I need to really know that. It's also making me think I didn't have the Christmas lights on all that much this year for a couple of reasons, but maybe I will. I don't know. Point of the matter is that, it just baffled me. So, I mean, the angels can not only give us messages, but they can give us items sometimes. I've been feeling, occasionally, sometimes quite often, sometimes less, lately fairly often, the angels around, for probably about 11 to 12 years, I would say. And I'm trying to think, have I ever had another object thing happen? I mean, yes, I have a couple items. I have a few items of my dad's. I guess this, because I almost sat in that chair, and Leanne, if you're still here, the Rivka angel, Rivka Marianne angel. I don't know if I'd say the two of them look that much alike, but in this statue, they do. Um, um, you know, uh, um, and that actually came from neither of them, but someone else that's passed away. Not someone I was super close with, but one of my step's relatives. Other than that, I'm not sure. I feel like they've told us before that our dog is a gift to us from them. I feel like me and G are connected because they helped with that. And those are big things, actually. But like the smaller things, I'm not sure. Connections, such as my connection here with Leanne. I don't know if you saw your name, the first name in the comments or not. I have to do a little bit. Allowed me to take my vitamins. Oh wait, okay. Well, thank you for staying a little while. Would you mind saying something about the story I just shared before you leave? I mean, I'm kind of surprised you haven't, but yeah, I did laundry the other day actually. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Like I don't know if I told you this, by the way, but I feel like Rivka had told me that us connecting is like a gift from her. She's given me a couple of other gifts. One was just a glass of wine. One was going to a meal program for a while, a dinner thing on Monday nights. And that was also a bit of an apology about something. So yeah, there has been things, but like objects, and objects with names on them. Objects with names on them. Like, it's a mother's full name. It'd be wilder if it was hers, but I don't need it to be hers to know, I'm going to have to look around the place and see. Because it probably is. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. So, folks, it can happen. And I'd be very curious next time you're on here. I'm going to wrap up this one soon, but I'll probably roll later again today, so maybe we'll see you. And if not today, possibly not tomorrow. And I don't think you're still here. But anyway, if you are, I'd love for you to hear what your dad thought of that. Because, yeah, we could totally say that God was working in it too. Anyway, truth be told, I'm kind of okay with the fact that I'm going to wrap this up now because I am kind of tired. I'm glad I got this story in, though. Glad I have this item. The light just disappeared, so it's starting to do that again. Oh, no, but now it says 2 again. Well, at least it fixed itself quickly that time. But see, example, it's a little wonky, but it fixes itself. And neither of those 2 people are still here, I don't think. So that's YT for you sometimes. But gotta love the site. Gotta love it. And a lot of the people on it. So I wrap this up, and I know you don't know my friend, and you know, or any of her connections and this and that, and you may not be super familiar with me. I will see you all again soon, and from all of us, we hope you're doing well. We hope that life's being kind to you, and even through the struggles, that you remember to hold kindness for yourself and others, and that you are making the most of your days, and that you are gracing people with your lovely presence. That's ironic. There's a new thing. Your lovely presence online and in general. And rock on, everybody. We'll try and do some music in the next one. Okay. Take care and bye for now.